Done. Hey, sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back once again, hopefully minus the lag issues. Score is currently 1-1 between SJ and LRM. And here we go. And we're back on Outlier. At the 12 o'clock position as the White Terran, we have SJ Terror staying on to play against none other than LRM Pike, who will be the red Zerg at the bottom left. A TVZ on Outlier, an unusual occurrence considering this is generally considered a Protoss map. So I'm very curious to see how this matchup actually plays out here. There were only a handful of these, maybe I would say like 3 or 4 maximum ZVTs on Outlier in an entire season of Pro League, so yeah, very interesting stuff. Anyway, alright, and T12Z7 I'm gonna go with. Yeah, it might be Z8, we'll go with 8. There we go. Alright, cool. Some music back. What, hey? Anyway, Dasako is actually telling me that this map is favored in ZVT though for Zerg, so I guess that'd be a good choice for LRM. Although it's not like they could have picked another race anyway. Ho ho ho! LRM, the team of Zergs, not unlike Templars of Twilight, but you know. Anyway, yeah. So that's basically that's why I'm going to be cheering for SJ in this series. I have nothing against LRM. I do like them a lot. I like many of their players, but I would not like a ZVZ finals because of course the winner of this does go on to play against SAS, and SAS's 2 huge name players are well, Zeki for one, and then Michael as well, top level Zerg players. So yeah, the last time those 2 teams met, LRM and SAS, was just a ZVZ fest. Which is not exactly my matchup of choice. Meanwhile, do we have a 14 TC coming here from Terror? Uh-oh, I think we do. And that's gonna get scouted immediately. So Pike, he actually turned his Overlord as well, and he's like, oh wait a minute, what is this? What do I spy with my little Overlord? He has gone for a 12 hatch though, so there's not too much you can do about it right now. Gonna spit on the SCV, show him what's up. And looks like we have the barracks placed here as well in a kind of an interesting position. There's kind of walling in. Like Marines here would be kind of protected somewhat against Zerglings, but it doesn't really stop them from running into the main anyway, so it's kind of an interesting position. I mean, could you like put the barracks here and build a bunker somewhere maybe? I'm not really sure. As I said, you know, haven't really seen very many ZVTs on this map at all. So yeah, let's see how Pike responds to this. So far he's just made the 3rd hatchery in his main. Good old macro hatch. Taking his gas, so he's just kind of playing standard 3 hatch. so far. He has actually elected... Oh no, he is making just 2 Zerglings here. So he's going to make just 2 Zerglings to chase his SCV around. He's not going to try anything like do some early aggression to try and kill this off the bat. And looks like we have a gas already taken by Terra as a follow-up here. I'm wondering if he actually is going to do that fast factory build that I mentioned in the last game that he played against Technics. Oh, is that a... Okay, no, those are on the gas. But yeah, Terra, when he sees a Zerg going for 3 hatch, he likes to get a very quick factory and do some sneaky speed vulture shenanigans, but don't see a factory just yet from him. Instead, just going for a very fast academy here. Now, this is also relatively unusual. I mean, the thing is, if you're not going for fast tech play when you're getting fast gas, it's almost certainly for fast +1 attack into 5 racks build. That's very popular nowadays, especially we saw it a number of times in the Sonic Star League, the SSL, from the Korean amateurs, the high-level Korean amateurs, and ex-pro gamers. So that'd be a little bit more expected than this super fast academy. Anyway, Lair is now on the way. It's going to get scouted by a second scouting SCV from Terra. And looks like one link is patrolling the front here to see if there's any early marine aggression from Terra. Of course, Flash showed us in Pro League that you can do some super early, like 5 marine timings, and actually make them quite effective. And in the SSL yesterday, actually, we saw Mong, a top level. I think the number 1 ranked BJ on Afrika loves to do these kind of 3 or 4 marine pokes at the front. It's just to scare the Zerg a little bit. So that link's just checking for that kind of stuff. Anyway, looks like second scouting SCV is going to get taken out here. Terra doesn't seem to be too bothered about it. Just kind of leaves him alone. But what do we have here? Lurker on the way. I probably should have mentioned this because I think I clicked the hydrogen earlier. I wasn't just talking about something else. But Pyke has actually gone for 3 hatch Lurker instead of 3 hatch Muta. Now this is very interesting because on this map there's actually back doors into the main base. So you see there's these 2 Xel'Naga temples with 5,000 hit points each, blocking off Pyke's main from like the top left area. And there's another 2 temples like somewhere around here. So if he can kill all 4 temples, he can actually get a backdoor entrance into Terra's main, which could be very interesting. And even if he doesn't, he can actually trick the lurkers over these little mineral patch things as well. However, before that can happen, Terra's actually already going on the offensive here. There's a few Sunkens, but they're kind of placed funnily off to the side here. I'm not sure why he didn't kind of just put them in the middle. I guess it's not really possible for the Marines to do a run-by. Well, I mean, I've seen Marine run-bys before. It's quite funny when it happens, but I don't think, yeah, Terra's just going to move back here. It's interesting that he made 2 fire bats relatively early. I guess that's why he went for the faster academy here, to get the fire bats and the medics earlier. But otherwise the follow-up's been relatively standard. He's got his +1 going, his 3 barracks, and now his factory started, so he's transitioning fairly normally. And oh, he's actually going to catch these lings running around here. Almost got some mind hacks going on here, knowing that the lings would try and run around the side, perhaps prepare for a backstab or something like that. And now he's going down towards the bottom right, perhaps now to actually maybe he wasn't looking for lings, maybe he was that was just on the way to the bottom right because he's looking for a 3rd base. Is that where he's going? He's doing some really weird... I actually don't know where the hell these Marines were going. Now they've just done a giant loop around the long way and are going back to the natural. It looks like Pyke is actually experiencing some lag as well. So Terror, not the best internet connection. Keeping up the Peruvian stereotype, unfortunately. But looks like the Lings actually getting trapped here. Wow, a very unusual sight. Speedlings just got flanked by Marines, which is very interesting. Did I just hear Lurkers attack? I think I just did, yep. There we go. And what is Terra doing? Oh man, he's not paying attention. Terra was not paying attention. They wouldn't even stop Lurkers. He just ran in to kill the Overlord before realizing that there were Lurkers there. So now he knows what's up. He's building a 2nd bunker. That's a very standard response here. To immediately do that, and notice he's not building any turrets in the main, of course, because he doesn't need them. And going straight for that starport. Now he does actually have an SCV. Is that mining out those back minerals? That's interesting. I'm a little bit surprised that he's doing that, especially now that he sees his lurkers on the map. You be very careful not to open up that back door for lurkers to go into your own main. I think it'd be a little bit. I think that kind of backdoor stuff is a little bit more useful to. Oh wow! Awesome scouting SCV. Sees the entire Zerg army as well as a drone heading over to secure a 3rd. But yeah, I'd imagine that opening up the back door helps Zerg more than Terran, since Zerg generally with their speedlings and whatnot is a little bit more mobile than the Terran army. Although I guess SK Terran is fairly mobile style as well. Anyway, but looks like some siege tanks on the way for Terror. Gonna try and get his vessel ASAPly to help deal with these lurkers. And we do finally have the third base going down for Pike. Right now. Now, oh, looks like Queen's Nest on the way. And a second Evo Chamber. Now Pike, in the late game, ZVT, he loves going for triple Evolution Chamber upgrades and just mass tier 1 units. So like mass Hydra Ling basically with some Defiler support and just really good upgrades. But of course in the mid game here he's going to have some lurkers as well, just so he can get to that late game where he has some awesome, you know, mass crackling stuff. But yeah, Pike is a really interesting late game style, shall we say, just spamming those tier 1 units. It can be quite effective, it's very cost efficient actually. Anyway, a very small medic marine group going down here. I'm not really sure what Terra hopes to accomplish with this. I mean, if he gets caught by a bunch of Lings coming around the back, he can just sacrifice this group basically. His army actually doesn't seem that big, but he is still ahead in supply from the Zerg, where he should be, so I'm not really sure where all his stuff is. Anyway, Hive is on the way now for Pike, and this small group is just kind of like being slightly threatening, but not really, and now it's just going to get crushed. Yeah, it looks like Terra's going to try and micro this a little bit, but the poor medics can't stem, and yeah, they're just going to run into a corner and die. So, I mean, they were, I guess, a minor nuisance to Pike, but I don't really see what he was really trying to accomplish with that group. Anyway, looks like first dropship's going out, gonna go swing around the side. There's a couple of spotting overlords in position though. We'll probably see that unless it gets really lucky and sneaks between them. Meanwhile, Terra just macroing up as usual. I'll be interested to see where he takes his third base, if he just goes for this inside one, outside his natural, or if he actually takes one, like the back one at the top right, since he can just, you know, kind of float a command center over there and take it relatively safely. Meanwhile, the drop looks like it's loaded here, unloaded here rather, and I think that was spotted by this overlord. I'm not sure. There are some units moving back, so it looks like Pike is aware of this. He does have some units to prepare, so he should be just fine here. Yeah, these Marines aren't going to do too much. They're going to just evacuate back into the dropship and run away. Got to run away though, because there's Hydras here as well, although they're not actually coming up. So the Hive is now done. And looks like Adrenal Glands just now starting. Hydra upgrades on the way, as I said. Pike does love continuing Hydra production, even at high levels EVT. Meanwhile, looks like the first science vessel is out, so that's going to be the cue for the Terran advance. A random lone siege tank leading the charge here. Very brave siege tank taking point. And what's that? Oh, looks like dropship. Oh, it's going to the third base. There's a couple of Sunkens. They're not going to be in time for the drop though. And oh man, a few lurkers are going to get caught here. 2 lurkers going down for free. Is he going to get a third one? Does have enough energy for an irradiate, so he can grab even another lurker if he wants. He's got to be careful though. There's the scan. He's got not enough Marines, so there's way too many lurkers there for him to actually just try and do a split against that. So yeah, he's going to pull back a little bit. He's going to rely on these siege tanks to help push back those lurkers. There are so many lurkers since, of course, Pike did opt to skip the Mutalisks and go straight for 3-hatch lurker. Meanwhile, actually, this drop didn't go to the third like I thought it would. I thought the third was very vulnerable. It's actually gone back into the main here. But I mean, the main Zerg army is right here, so yeah, it's not really going to work out. So yeah, Terror losing half the drop there without really doing anything. It's just going to fly away now. But that does distract Pike a little bit. It gives the main army a chance to move forward here. And the main Zerg army looks like it's swinging around the back. I don't know if he's going for a flank or if he's going for a counterattack here. There's not really that much at home to defend. But Terra's army seems to be a little bit scattered here, losing a handful of Marines for nothing. And this army looks like it's going to grab this lone siege tank that's going to warn Terra that the army has gone around the back. But I still don't know whether this is for a counterattack or for a flank. It looks more like it's for a flank now. And the vessel's actually going up to have a look, but the Sunkens are getting busted here. The army needs to come in from the back. I don't know what Pike is actually waiting for right now, but it looks like Terra making a bit of a mistake, losing a few Marines for free, and looks like now the attack is coming in. The Lurkers moving in from the front, Lurkers moving in from the back as well. All the siege tanks getting taken down. It looks like Terra is just going to get slaughtered here by mass Lurkers, just everything going down for him. It really wasn't that big of an army to begin with anyway. And he just got completely crushed. Even though he saw with that siege tank the units were going around behind, he decided to commit anyway. And Pike just demolishes that army. So Terra now has lost his main force. Looks like having a bit of trouble with his SCVs there. However, he has started to take this third base here on the inside. But can he hold it though? There's so many Lurker Ling out. Pyke is still slightly behind on supply, but only just barely. 104 supply against 111. Looks like actually some random buildings being built here below that third base. Not really random, but kind of defensive buildings, but a little bit further away from the third base. A very forward turret here to give vision. I actually quite like this move by Terra. I mean, that's a very small investment, and just to get that little bit of extra warning time is extremely useful. And look at this. He's actually sending out these random SCVs. I think this is actually on purpose to just give himself warning for where the Zerg's army is, and that's actually a really cool move. I actually really like that. You know, this dropship, it doesn't look like it's done too much here. It only had 4 Marines in there for after that failed mini drop attempt, and oh man, he's got to back up here. There's like a billion lurkers here. God, Pyke just has so much stuff. It looks like he realizes it as well. He's like, oh, actually, you don't have that much stuff, do you? Let me just go and attack. But he's got to be a little bit careful though to attack into this position. It's just slightly awkward, even if he does have a lot of lurkers, and a couple of good, well-positioned siege tanks could do a lot of damage here. I wonder if Terra might even do well to mine out these minerals. There's only 24 minerals here, so three trips will mine it out. And you can put siege tanks on the high ground, and they'll be fairly protected. But before that can happen, looks like a big attack going here into the third base. The Defilers are out with Dark Swarm, and this is bad news for Terra. He might just lose this third base here. There's no way he can hold it. His army is backed up into a corner. He's got to find an escape route. There's no way to escape here. He's completely trapped. I think the Defilers just need a little bit more energy and they can finish off this army. Small group of units just stuck here on the side, and now the Lurkers are going in, and there's the Dark Swarm. There's nowhere for the Marines to back up to now. They're backed against a cliff. I think the Marines might be able to run around the top side, but he's going to lose a lot of them in the process. He's just trying to be kill as much stuff as possible before these Marines die, but that is going to be the end for these guys as they try and escape, but no, the Lings are going to catch most of them here. And that is going to be that. Meanwhile, Ultra's Cavern looks like at the third base here of the Zerg. Still no sign of a fourth base yet for Pyke. I'm a little bit surprised that he hasn't taken it while this was going on. But, I mean, I guess he doesn't have to. The Terran denied his own third base. It's stuck on his main and it's natural. And I'd imagine the main's getting fairly low. Yeah, it looks like about 200, less than 200 minerals per patch, actually, on average. So, Pyke having cleaned up the army once again. Oh, looks like, might lose a random few lurkers on the retreat. I'm just going to get one irradiated, so not too bad. And the supplies actually, Terra's still staying slightly ahead, but it's looking kind of grim, because actually, look at this, the Zerg's upgrades are really good. 2 carapace and 1 attack already on his melee, whereas the Terran's only at 1-1. So Pyke has actually out-upgraded Terra right now. On all his units, and the Ultras, when they get their armor boost thing, are going to be super strong. And here we go, the Lurker's moving in once again. Terra needs to split up his Marines a little bit, needs to spread out. No, he doesn't quite get the spread, and once again loses his force in the middle of the map. The Hydra's actually even coming up. They might be able to snipe some science vessels here if they can. No, they're not quite fast enough to get the vessels, but it doesn't really matter. They're moving up here. They're going to start shooting the command center, in fact, and really want to grab some of these vessels here, but this command center, I wonder if that's going to die, actually. It's going to be quite close. I think he's going to have to pull a couple SCVs here to keep it safe. But these bunkers, are they empty? There's only 2 Marines in this bunker, so I think Pyke, pretty soon, if he just rallies in a few more forces, might be able to break it, but actually, no, the siege tanks on the low ground are going to keep him alive for now. So Terra is going to hold on here, but while this is going on, look at this, Pyke is double expanding to the bottom right 2 bases there, the natural and the third, while keeping on this pressure. I mean, he's got all his hive tech already, he's got the Defilers, the Ultralisks. Looks like the Ultras have their carapace bonus now, so they're at 4 carapace, 4-1 Ultralisks already against just the one. Oh, no, it looks like 2-2 just now finished, so 2-2 Marines. Terra finally getting his upgrades, once again having some SCV issues. I don't think he needs any more SCVs. He's actually got so many minerals to spare now, actually, and he's mined out his main, he's almost mined out his natural. He really shouldn't be building any more SCVs. Just wasted his supply. I mean, he's got 106 supply, but he's got such a small army. It's just all SCVs right now. Building a bunker, I feel like that actually blocks his command center, but I'm not sure. That would be quite funny if that was the case. I'm actually fairly certain that it does block the command center, but yeah, that's not ideal. Anyway, the vessel's going to fly around, try and see what they can see. Does Pyke actually... Wait a minute, does he still not have a Spire? Oh no, there it is. Okay, he has a Spire now. Whew. I haven't seen any Scourge actually all game. Oh, there we go. And boom, gets one of the vessels. Meanwhile, the main army is moving down here as well. Looks like Pyke has actually switched into Ultra Ling as his late game composition. And I really want to see Terra actually kill that bunker, just to prove me right. Come on, Terra. Kill your bunker. Is he really not blocking? I guess he's not blocking because he landed it. No, I guess not. Alright. Anyway, doesn't matter though, because this attack is probably going to end the game. Masses of Ultra Lane coming in here with Dark Swarm. That's got to be blocked though, right? Ah, Plague! He gets the CC. He gets a CC and one vessel. I think he got one Marine too. But yeah, Terror is in bad shape now. Once again, getting his army crushed, getting denied the third base. I think this attack might just bust through the natural as well. He's got 3 bunkers here, but that's a lot of ultras. Although, nope, there's a Dark Swarm, so that's going to be that. Nothing he can do about these ultras under Swarm, and he's basically going to be out of minerals in less than a minute as well. So Pike is looking like he's going to take game number 3 here in this series. Terror's just going to do the last stand of the Terran. Has he like floated a command center somewhere? Yeah, he's floated actually a command center over here to the top left side, but it's too late, I think. He's just going to get taken down. Yep, and GG from Terror. Pike brings LRM up to 2-1 against Team SJ. All right.